Hello and welcome. Today we'll be diving into the fascinating journey of photography, how it all began, the development of digital photography and various types and techniques used by photographers, and overview of essential photography equipment. Let's get started. Let's begin with the history of photography. Photography has a rich and fascinating history. It all began with the concept of capturing images using light. The ancient Greeks discovered that light passing through a small hole into a dark room would project an image of the outside scene into the opposite wall. This discovery was the basis of the camera obscura, a device that became popular in the 16th century as an aid for artists. Although the camera obscura couldn't record images permanently, it laid the groundwork for photography by demonstrating that light could be manipulated to form an image. Let's look into early history of photography. In the early 1800s, the first real attempts at capturing images began. Joseph Nicephore Niepce, a French inventor, is credited with creating the first permanent photographers in the year 1826, called the view from the window at Les Graces. He used a pewter plate coated with a light-sensitive material that required an 8-hour exposure. Following Niepce's work, Louis Daguerre developed the daguerreotype in 1839. This technique used silver-plated copper and reduced exposure time to minutes, making it first commercially successful photographic process. The daguerreotype produced clear, sharp images but was complex and couldn't create duplicates. Meanwhile, across the channel, British scientist William Henry Fox Talbot invented a calotype, which used paper coated with silver iodide and allowed multiple prints from a single negative. Talbot's invention was a key milestone in making photography reproducible and accessible. By the late 1800s, George Eastman invented roll film, and his company Kodak launched the first portable camera in 1888 called the Kodak No. 1. This made photography accessible to the general public and opened a door for amateur photography. Now let's look into the development of digital photography. With the rise of electronics in 20th century, photography entered the digital age. The first digital images were produced in 1950s and in 1975. The Kodak engineer Steven Sasson created the first digital camera using a CCD sensor. The camera captured a grainy black and white image and took about 23 seconds to record each photo to tape. As the technology advanced, digital cameras gradually improved in resolution, speed, and color. By late 1990s, digital cameras became widely available to the consumers. In 2000s, DSLRs and mirrorless cameras became popular. Today, nearly all cameras from professional equipment to smartphone cameras are digital, offering immediate viewing, editing, and sharing options. Now let's look into the types of photography. Photography is incredibly versatile with many different styles and techniques. Some of the most popular photography types are portrait, landscape, wildlife, macro, sports, and street photography. Let's start with portrait photography. Portrait photography captures the personality or essence of the person or a group. Techniques often include shallow depth of field and specific lighting to highlight the subject. The next one is landscape photography. Focuses on natural and urban environment, aiming to showcase the beauty of a location. Landscape photographers often use a wide-angle lens and techniques like long exposure to capture dramatic scenes. Another popular photography technique is wildlife photography. which involves photographing animals in their natural habitat. It requires patience and specialized equipment like telephoto lenses for capturing distant subjects. The next one is macro photography. Focuses on close-up details of small objects like insects or flowers, using macro lens for extreme detail. The next one is sports photography, which captures fast-paced action, often using a high shutter speed and telephoto lenses to freeze the moments. Another popular style is street photography, which involves candid shots of people and places in public settings, often using techniques like high contrast lighting and quicker shutter speed to capture life as it unfolds. Each type requires different techniques and equipment, making photography both a technical and creative field. To master a specific style, photographers need to understand the techniques best suited to the genre. Let's also look into certain popular techniques, and some of the techniques used by professional photographers are rule of thirds, leading lines, golden hour, long exposure, black and white photography, high speed photography, also called as short exposure, and symmetry. Let's start with rule of thirds. This involves dividing an image into 9 equal parts using 2 vertical and 2 horizontal lines, placing the subject along these lines or intersection to create the balanced composition. In the following image, you can see how I frame the subject to fall on the points of intersection and purposely leaving out a negative space. The next technique is leading lines. These are lines in an image that guide the viewer's eye to the main subject, such as roads, rivers, or architectural lines. In this image, I use the path in the field as my leading lines. Leading lines are also used to make the viewer see what's ahead beyond the subject. Golden hour photography. This technique involves shooting during the hour after sunrise or before sunset, when natural light is softer and adds warmth to the photos. In the image shown, you can see how I position myself in such a way that the sunrise is right behind my subject. Compositions like this require a lot of patience. Similarly, this is another fine example of a golden hour photography taken during sunset. Long exposure. Often used in landscape photography, long exposure captures movement over time like flowing water or moving lights. The next one is black and white photography, which focuses on contrast, texture and composition without the distraction of color, creating a timeless feel. The next one is high speed photography, captures fast motion with ultra short exposure, often used in sports or wildlife photography to freeze action. Symmetry. In symmetry, the compositions are usually centered. It occurs when you divide the image into equal halves. Both halves tend to have similar content in a balanced state. Try dividing this picture into equal halves. Do you get the picture? Here's another example for symmetry. Each of these techniques can dramatically change how an image feels and looks. Practicing them helps photographers develop a unique style. Now let's look at certain photography equipment that are very essential. DSLR cameras, mirrorless, and smartphone cameras, which are popular image capturing devices in today's market. Let's look into some of the cameras. There are various types of cameras including DSLR, mirrorless, and smartphones. Each type offers unique benefits. DSLRs have interchangeable lenses and often longer battery life, while mirrorless cameras are compact and often have better video capabilities. We also have the most popular and handy cameras that we all carry around. Some of them have exceptionally great cameras. They are fully capable of being used professionally. Choosing the right camera can be a question all of you may struggle with. I suggest you assess your needs first and consider the budget. See the camera that fits in, and always consider camera which are latest in technology. Lenses can transform how an image looks, and few of the types are prime lenses, which have fixed focal length, often sharper, great for low light condition. Telephoto lenses, long focal lengths, perfect for distant subject like wildlife or sports. Wide angle lenses capture broader view, ideal for landscapes and architecture. Macro lenses are used to capture close-up details of small objects. We will be discussing lenses in detail on the upcoming units. Coming to some essential photography accessories, we have plenty to add to this list, but we shall look into some of the highly used ones. We have tripods, lighting equipments, filter, memory cards, and editing software. Tripods are essential for stability, especially in long exposure photography, low light conditions, or shooting a video. Lighting equipment. These can range from simple reflectors to complex studio lighting setups. Portable options like flashes or LEDs are also popular for controlling light in any environment. Filters can enhance images by reducing reflections, controlling brightness, or adding effects. Some of the common filters include polarizers, neutral density, and UV filters. Memory cards and storage. High capacity memory cards and reliable storage devices are necessary to store high resolution images and videos safely. Coming to editing software, tools like Adobe Lightroom and Photoshop allow photographers to edit and enhance their photos, making post-production a critical step in modern photography. There are also plenty of apps that enables us to edit photographs on your mobile devices. Some of them are Lightroom, Snapseed, and PixArt. Their interfaces are very simple and easy to use. Here is a picture of Lightroom app interface, and here you can see the interface of a Snapseed. The tools will be very much similar in all of these apps. They allow you to manipulate various image parameters like contrast, color, perspective, etc. These tools not only support creativity but also provide technical control. Investing in high quality equipment can make significant difference in the quality and versatility of your work. Thanks for joining the session on photography. Today we have covered the journey of photography from its origins to the digital age, explored different types and techniques, and highlighted essential equipment. Remember, photography is about experimenting, finding your style, and continuously learning. So grab your camera, try out these techniques, and start capturing the world around you. See you in the next session.